Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Darkatous-Gaming over here with a tutorial to show you guys how to make the most money with a vehicle warehouse. This week is gonna be 1.5, which means you get 50% more money than you would originally. So this is a good week to do this on. And what you essentially want to do before you do any of this is collect all 32 cars. Now, there are 32 cars, which means you're gonna have 10 standard range, 10 mid range, and 12 top range vehicles. Now, it does not matter what variant you have of each of those vehicles. It just means you have to collect a alpha, for example, as you're gonna see. Whatever variant you have, Banshee, so on and so on. And for example, I have the Dominoes, but if I had, say, the Banshee 900, actually I don't know any of the variants of that, so I'm gonna just use another vehicle that I happen to know the variant of. Alright, so if I had, for example, the Z-Type Big Money, no, actually, hold on a minute. If I had the Kingpin, it does not matter as long as I have a Z-Type. If you have, say, for example, the Big Money, whatever the hell, it does not matter. You just have to have the Z-Type and so on and so on. And at any point, just pause that video to read the names of the vehicle. But like I said, the variant of the vehicle does not matter. It's just having at least a cheetah, for example. Now let's get into the vehicle tutorial and so on and so on. So there are 3 methods that you could do, but in all of them you want to have the 32 cars collected. So if you have a vehicle warehouse that's empty, the first 32 cars you're going to be collecting are going to be all these. So by automatically the game makes you collect these cars, so that, like, if you, for example, have 0 cars in your vehicle warehouse, it'll have you collect all of them. It's not going to be like, oh, you're collecting 10 standard range in a time. So what you could do is obviously, like, take time and collect all 32 variants. And once you do, what you could do is, like me, I'm selling this car specifically over here, but if you like to sell the 811, for example, or the Osiris is your favorite car to sell, because maybe you like to drive it, you sell that one, and then when you source a vehicle again, it's going to be a Osiris, but it's going to be whatever variant it wants to give you. Now, for example, you will see right here that this variant of this car that I'm going to be selling, not only will I sell this, but in this specific portion of the clip, I'm going to be sourcing the same vehicle that I sold right now right here, but I'm going to be sourcing the collectible variant of this. So, you know, now if you want to sell, like, with your friends multiple cars, what you could do is have, after the 32 cars, have you know, 3 or 4 different you know, have 3 or 4 other top range lying around. So, like, that means you'll probably have a second Osiris, for example, a second X80 Proto, a second 811, a second Reaper, for example. Let's use that. Just make sure that you keep at least one of the Osiris's, one of the Reaper, and don't just go selling both of the Reapers, because then this is gonna basically ruin you getting a top range vehicle guaranteed thing. You had to have at least one variant of each of these cars, okay? So, like I said, but the thing is that if you want to be guaranteed a top range vehicle all the time, you have to keep the 32 cars, sell whatever top range vehicle you want, and you'll be left at 31. And then when you go source a vehicle again to collect the 30th, what, you know what I'm trying to say, the 32nd car, it'll be the same way you sold, because it's going to be the one that you're missing out of the 32 cars. So yeah, now let's get into, like, the specific methods, routine that you want to be selling. Now the first one is the most money rewarding one. The first one, this one, is you want to do a headhunter before you sell. Like I sold right here, but before that you want to do a headhunter. Then you want to do a diamond shop, and if you have the terabyte, it's a terabyte mission. If you don't, then it's okay, because I have 3 different kind of methods in case if you don't have a terabyte, for example. Okay, if you don't have a buzzard, you can rent one for 25k, I believe. But at this point, like, everybody should be having a buzzard at this point, or you should be already kind of making that one of your incentives. So keep that in mind. Buzzard is very recommended, or if you have any vehicle like the Deluxo or the Oppressor Mod 2 that can fly and has missiles. Okay. Now you want to do the Headhunter, diamond shopping. You get 50k out for that. Then you go sell whatever of the 32 vehicles you want to sell. Some people may want to sell standard range and then they'll get it back for whatever reason, but for all purposes it's going to be the top range vehicle you want to sell. Whatever top range vehicle you want to sell it. Make sure that you have one person AFK or a friend, or just at a session that's not going to like grief each other, and people that are not going to blow up your vehicle and such. Okay, so then once you sell it, you go immediately source the vehicle that you just sold. It will be the same vehicle, just not the same variant, guaranteed, but nonetheless. Once you source that vehicle, you want to do another Headhunter, and then you want to do another diamond shopping. If diamond shopping is not ready, which it should be, because within 20 minutes it should be what it should take you to do a, you know, after the first diamond shopping, it's approximately almost 20 minutes. But if for whatever reason timer is not done, you could also go do a the one where you rob the bank, the terabyte mission, and then once you do that, you go source, you go sell again. So essentially what you're doing is Headhunter, terabyte mission, sell, source, Headhunter, terabyte mission, sell, source, so on and so on. It will repeat itself until you decide that you don't want to keep playing or keep doing this. And basically at the end of the day, you're gonna be making a very fast profit. Also, this is good if you have bunker or MC businesses filling up. You could not only make your money if you bought supplies, you can make your money back of the supplies you bought, but you will make more money than what you spent. So like, you'll be making more money than what you spent with those supplies, and make the money that you spent on the supplies back. So like, whatever, you get the point. Now with the sourcing missions, some of these are very, very, very horrible, but that's why you want to do at least the Headhunter before you start selling, because that way you're guaranteed to have something to cover you in the expenses of the repair costs that you're gonna be doing when you start sourcing vehicle. Because the Headhunter after you sell is what's gonna be making sure that you are paid it back from the 20k that you had to pay. Because, you know, originally you're supposed to be getting 80k of a profit, because yeah, you sell for 100k, but you do have to pay 20k, and 100 minus 20k is obviously 80k, if you know how to do math, which I hope you do. Okay, so at the end of the day, not only will doing at least a Headhunter before or after will guarantee you to make your money back and make the most profit. So method number 2 is for the people that don't have a terabyte, and that is essentially you want to do a Headhunter before you sell the vehicle, then you want to sell the vehicle, then you want to source a vehicle, and then you want to make sure that after you source the vehicle, you always want to make sure that you have not the amount of scratches that like would go overboard. If you have something like 5k of repair costs, once you're done sourcing the vehicle, depending on where your vehicle warehouse is, you could go find a NPC vehicle and sell it at Los Santos and make the money back that you had to spend on, you know, resourcing the vehicle and all that stuff. So the money they took away from you from the repair costs, you can make it back with just selling an NPC vehicle. You should be good. and then once you source the vehicle, do another headhunter, and then sell again. So again, the thing you should be looking for the most part: headhunter for the second method, headhunter, sell, resource or source vehicle, headhunter, sell, source, headhunter, and so on and so on. And if, like I mentioned, you happen to have scratches and such, like over here, if I really needed to care like that, like I would have just gone, taken an NPC vehicle and sold it real quick at the nearest Los Santos custom, and then I would have gone back to sell the vehicle that I just gotten, or whichever top range I want to feel like selling at that moment. Okay, so the third method is basically for the people that don't want to make, like, they just don't want to, for whatever reason, don't want to do the headhunter first. So third method is, instead of doing the headhunter and then sell, you can just, you know, sell, source, headhunter, sell, source, headhunter. But that's again if you're that confident that you're not going to get any scratches, and again if you do a little. But if you sell like that, whichever three method you would like, the first one makes you the most money because you're doing the most things. But if you want to be doing the less amount of work but still be doing something, there's the second method. But if you just want to be doing the least amount of work possible and still make the profit, well, like I said, sell the vehicle, source it back, and the headhunter will cover you of the 20k expenses that you had to pay to sell the vehicle for 100k. Therefore, you'll be making the 100k profit. Now again, this week you're gonna be making more money because it's 50% more money when you sell the import and export vehicles, which is what, you know, the vehicle warehouse. Now I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about how to set up the vehicle warehouse to have a 32 variant, because now that I've covered to you how the selling guide, like in terms of the routine that you want to be doing, like how you take whatever three methods, now I'm going to be talking to you about how you want to source these vehicles and such, or if you want to do different things, as well as like what recommended stuff you should have. Now the recommended stuff you should have should be either a cargo bob, which is optional again, but the more recommended, for the most part needed thing, is having a buzzard, because not only will that help you with the headhunter, but it will help you with the whole sourcing mission thing. Okay, it will help you a lot, transport you to where you gotta collect the vehicle, for example. And it's always good to have a buzzard at the very least. Now, you don't have to have a terabyte, though it is recommended, but it's understandable if you don't, because you have to have a nightclub to have a terabyte, and that's already quite the expenses. So if whatever, you know, just keep in mind you can still do this with having the CEO office and what you have already. Now let's talk about when you're collecting the cars. Now when you're collecting the cars, like I've mentioned, you want to basically, essentially, when you start off with your vehicle warehouse empty, you want to just keep collecting cars, and you'll collect 32 cars, and once you're collecting all 32 cars, that's going to be the 32 cars you need. Now if you want to have, you know, friends help you sell multiple cars, here's what I do. What I do is I will have the 32 cars that I need to have for it to be when I want to sell by myself and make this method so that it doesn't like break. So let's say I want to have two of my friends help me sell multiple cars, which with me I'll be selling 3 cars. That means apart from the 32 vehicles I already have, I'm going to be sourcing 3 other top range vehicles, and that means I will probably have a second variant of whatever top range. So that means I will then now have 2 811s, for example. I will have 2 Osiris, and I will have 2 X80 Protos, for example. Now, you do not want to sell both of the same variant. You always want to do this. Keep one of the, say, XCD Protos, Osiris, 811, and only sell, say, if for example you got the, I like to do this, if I got the collectible, I'm gonna keep the collectible, but I'm gonna basically make sure that the 32 cards that I have there are always there, and then the other extra cards are the cards that I'm gonna be having people help me sell, so that when I go do this solo again, I'll have the 32 cards and I can do the whole method that I've been doing in this vehicle. Over time, not only will you make money, but if you pair this up with the MC businesses and the bunker and the nightclub, for example, when you have the warehouse and the nightclub, you'll be making even more money, because those will be making product and all that while you make the instant money with the vehicle warehouse. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out. Peace.